Welcome back to DIY guitar making. In this episode, I'm going to do some real quick shop rounds here. Shop rounds is a type of episode where I take you around the shop and just show you everything that I have going on at the moment. And right now, it's all about those two Parlor guitars that I'm working on. I'm trying to get out of here sort of quick, by the way, because there is a almost apocalyptic level storm coming in very soon. The high for the day is 55 degrees and it's raining outside right now. And the low is 7 degrees with a wind chill as low as minus 25. I don't think in my life I've ever seen a spread like that from 55 to 7 or minus 25 if we're accounting for wind chill. So that's kind of crazy. Maybe I have when I was younger, but I don't remember a daily spread in temperature like that ever. But anyway, you're not here for the weather, you are here for luthery, so let's go ahead and talk about some of this mess that I have here. You can see, based on how messy my benches are, that I've been doing stuff. So if we come over here, I've got the two Parlor guitars are now finally in the mold. I've got the blocks on there. Both of those blocks had to be contoured to a new radius, a special radius that I haven't used on my other models. There's no need to reinvent the wheel and have to create new jigs all the time. I have a bunch of radius blocks that are at various radii, and so I adapted my curves here. The design that I originally drew wasn't exactly a 16-inch radius. It was probably 17 or 15 or something like that. And I just adjusted that on my plans at the design stage just slightly to accommodate a 16-inch radius, simply because I knew that I own a 16-inch radius block. That's just a little tip for you guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to build new blocks and jigs like that every time you make a new design. So I've got the braces, the side braces in here, and what I'll be doing next is installing the kerfing. I'll also be leveling all of the extra material that you see here. So that's the rosewood. Here's the wengi. Man, that wengi looks pretty cool. A lot of people say it has a very kind of boring look, but I actually like it. It's always very straight grained and has really big pores, which are going to be problematic later on when I'm filling them, but they look cool. They add a real kind of woody character to it. Let's see, traveling over here, I've got the other thing I was working on is making a backstripe here with ebony in the center and maple, two maple stripes on the edges there. So here's the material right here, which I make from a piece of binding strip that matches the binding I'll be using, and then I use a jig that's very similar to this joining board right here to attach these maple purfling strips onto the side. And then I can just thickness, like this piece right here is ready to be thicknessed in my binding and purfling thicknesser that you see standing up in this cam clamp right here. So this is a plain blade that is just held in this special jig right here, and I can adjust the height of the plain blade to make it appropriate for the height of the binding strip that I'm trimming down. So that's pretty cool. Here, why don't we get these weights off here and take a look at this. Alright, so here's my backstripe, and so the way that I get this on here is, of course, by simply wedging the material between the two book-matched halves when I join them in the joining board. That's why you can actually see this on both sides. So even when this guitar is completed, you'll see, you know, the backstripe from the inside as well as the outside. Not that you need to, aesthetically speaking, see the back stripe on the inside. That's just how it turns out. And So the idea of this is to, later on, you'll see when I get to this point and when I film it, that I will miter little joints here and here to connect in with the binding, which will also have this ebony maple scheme going on there. Okay, and it's one of the more enjoyable, I think, and fun details of the build is to simply set up those little miters where the maple turns and meets the maple of the binding. Okay, so now jumping over here, I'm going to be doing, well, not now because I'm leaving, but when I come back to the shop, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be jointing and joining these Wengi halves here for the Wengi guitar, and I'm going to be using that same scheme for the backstripe. I want to show you this though. I got a bunch of very interesting purfling strips from GurianInstruments.com, which, if you guys don't know, Michael Gurian is a real sort of legend in lutherie on the level of, say, Irvin Samaji and John Monteleone. He's well, he's just a legend, like I said. And what am I getting at here? He owns a company that specializes in purfling, specifically in veneers and purfling and marquetry for guitar making. So I'm only mentioning that because if you guys are bored with what you see on Stu Mac or Luthier's Mercantile and you can't find something that really inspires you, check out Gurian Instruments and you'll find lots of cool stuff. This is dyed blue poplar. By the way, I have no relationship with Gurian Instruments. They don't know that I'm doing this. I don't do any of that affiliate marketing, advertising crap. Anyway, I'm just telling you because there's a lot of cool options on there and you should know about it. So I get this in a variety of different widths and thicknesses, and I just play around with it, right? So I don't even know what I'm going to be doing with this really brilliant, sort of unnatural looking blue color, but I just wanted to play with it because honestly, I sort of recently, within the last year, ran across an instrument that I thought was really cool. I wish I could remember who built it, but it was a very simple design, but it incorporated this sort of bright, almost lime green, like the worst, most unnatural color you could put on a guitar, like a nuclear waste green. It almost was fluorescent, but it wasn't. And that kind of inspired me because it was simple enough. It was just a single purfling line that followed around the edges of the guitar and around onto the back. And it wasn't overdone, so it wasn't obnoxious, but it was just a bit of unnatural color that offset the otherwise woody appearance with all the earth tones and the browns and the beiges that we normally see on acoustic instruments. Just a little something different, so just giving you guys a heads up, that might be something that I play around with, not on this build, because I checked this out with these, with the Wengi and the Rosewood, and I just didn't, it didn't speak to me there, but I think on a lighter colored back set like Sapelli or something like that, or Mahogany, I might try this out, because I don't know, I'm just inspired by something being that different, you know? Anyway, that's a little tip for you. GurianInstruments.com. I think it's GurianInstruments.com. I'll just Google Gurian Instruments. And here's a bunch of maple strips. Maple is kind of a go-to for me. Maple purfling never looks bad on virtually any wood. So I keep a lot of this around. And here are just some veneer sandwiches, which I'm going to sandwich below the head plate, just to carry that maple theme around to the neck. Okay, I think that's all I got for you. I'm going to get out of here. By the way, it's Christmas week if you're watching this in the future. If you're watching this right now, then Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. All right, see you guys later. Bye. If you learned something here, please give this video a like and subscribe so you can be notified when I release a new DIY guitar making video. And if you want to really learn more, take one of my structured online courses at ericschaferguitars.com or register for a hands-on guitar building workshop here with me in Burnville, Pennsylvania.